It says I'm live. So, welcome. Live from the crossroads of America. A 1 hour talk show shooting with disabilities. We cover guns, politics, or anything else that crosses our mind. We will answer questions from the audience either in the chat or email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I also have a Patreon page. If you want to help me out with the channel, you can do that. All that information is below there on the YouTube in the information section. Should be there. And if you like what you hear, and give me the thumbs up, and because that all helps with YouTube and getting ahead. I mean, I'm a long way from getting anything from YouTube because they don't even start entertaining you till you're at least at 1,000 subs. So I'm a long way to go. But anyway, that's that. That's my opening bit there. Let me introduce my panel to you. We've got the one and only Squibload. How you doing, Squib?
Hey, Rick. Hi, everybody out there. Welcome to the Patriot in the Dark Food Chat every Wednesdays. Every Wednesday. How about good grammar there, Squib?
Yeah. Then we're talking about the man himself. The man. Is it the man, the myth, the legend? Patriot in the Dark. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I think it's more infamous. It's getting to be infamous. But thank you for having me, and welcome to everybody. And I don't know anything about food, so.
Okay. Then we got the kingpin himself. How you doing?
All right. Thanks for having me, Rick.
No problem. Then we got our New York representative down here, Blind Shooter.
Hey, Rick. Hey, panel. Hey, everybody in the chat. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Has anybody got a topic? I mean, I got a couple written down here, but has anybody? Oh, let me say hi. Who's in the chat? Of course, first in he's on the panel. He's double dipping. Is Patriot in the Dark. Then we got New York Outcast, Snob's Wife, Two Live Moves, Seven Wonders, Raphael Morales. Is that how you pronounce it? Are in the chat at the moment. So good you're here. And all right, you guys got any topics that you want to cover?
I did look up a couple clubs, but I didn't send that email yet, so that'll have to be pushed off.
Okay. No, I was looking at some stuff too, and
there's sure a lot of British stuff out there.
Is there?
Yeah.
All right. Hell, I missed that. But I noticed though, in November, believe this or not, an NRA sponsored defensive shooting match is being held for disabled only at the 6 Hour Academy in New Hampshire, which I thought was pretty cool. That that we're not forgotten. And I think they said there's 71 million. I mean, how they come up with these numbers, I don't know how they figure out. But they said they reckon there's 71 million disabled shooters in the country.
Yeah, give or take a couple.
So I mean, it's not that So I thought that. I mean, that's where I started. I started looking at people who I was looking for, like what you say, clubs or I was looking for trainers, people training disabled, and I covered this topic early on in this show, way back early. Is most trainers you're going to have to talk to them one-on-one to see if they're training you. If you got a physical handicap, that's I'm trying to say it without sounding nasty. That's I mean, you got a handicap that's obvious. Is that the word? I don't know. That you know, it's hard to say. Even if you're in a wheelchair or something like that. Like what I'm saying is, like me, I went with a bad back and a hand, and so mine wasn't that bad. And I had one-on-one training anyway. That's how I learned to shoot and stuff. But I haven't actually gone to a. That's a lie. I went to one. I went to one class where they made accommodation for me because I was with but I had a cane. You know, I was shooting with my cane, so there wasn't really a problem. I could, for what little shooting there was in this class training class we done, it was handgun. It was sort of like handgun 101 type stuff. You know, learning the basics basically, and they accommodated me that I just moved when we moved from spot to spot. They just allowed me to move slower and stuff like this. But there's very few places that advertise, you know, for the disabled. I think you have to ask for a teacher outright.
That does depend, because there's a couple of places I know here in Michigan that kind of offer, you know, for physical disabilities, you know, if you're in a wheelchair or something like that, or limitations with hand movement and that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely, especially if you're in, you know, not in a big city or a place where they have that kind of training, or, you know, located next to a big organization that does that stuff. You know, if you're just out here in the sticks, you definitely have to search through and talk to a couple people. I know I did, and I was just taking the regular, you know, some regular classes, but
Yeah,
you can also offer to see if you can sit in. That's another option. You know, instead of saying, "Hey, I want to just take your class," you know, if you say, "Hey, can I sit in and see how it is?" You know, and not get the certificate or whatever, just to see how it is. You know, some of them might let you do that.
Here's a question for you, Patriot, from out in the
Oh
thing.
no.
So this might sound like a dumb question, but does Patriot in the dark use safety glasses when shooting? If so, is
Yeah.
it for other people to keep them from saying something?
It's funny because I in my last video I was using the table saw, and I said, make sure you wear your safety glasses as I start cutting with no glasses on. But
Yeah.
that's probably why. Actually, at the range, you know, it's a rule, you have to have them, and so I do wear them, because, I mean, you know, just because I don't, you know, see out of my eyes doesn't mean a hot piece of lead flying into your eyeball is still painful for everybody. But so yeah, I could still get stuff stuck in my eye, and that's not something you want to do. So yeah, I definitely wear sunglasses if I'm out, you know, at the family place or whatever. But, you know, safety glasses that are rated, whatever, for the range for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you still don't want stuff in your eyes, you know. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, even though you can't see out, you don't want to have you don't want to have something stuck in your eye and be in pain.
Yeah. And that's why you wear sunglasses. If you got your eyes closed when you're shooting, you know, it does scare some people. Even if they notice it, they'll take a double take.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your answer for you out there in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. What was my other thing on here I had? Here's one. I mean, like, we've been discussing this, and everybody's seen it. You know, best gun for shooting with disabilities. I as much as I love my 45, you know, I'm going with the 380. You know, and you can get some good defensive ammo now that will make this viable. You know, I mean, and you think about it, the Germans called a 380 9mm. By the way, it's a nine. It was a 9mm Cougar or Kruger. That's how they pronounce it, or something. So
I think so. Or 9 short.
You know,
Kurs would be short.
Is that what
in German? Kurs, yeah, is short. It's a 9x17 is what it is. but it doesn't use the same bullet as a 9mm Luger.
Oh, okay. All right. But anyway, I said I went. Everybody knows I went with this because of my hands. You know, I can't. My hands can't take the punishment with the arthritis and stuff in there, and you know that's what I'm saying. That's when I got. I mean, like I got a 38 snub nose revolver in there. I can't even shoot that thing. I tried to shoot it last time I went to the range. I could. I mean, it's a Taurus Model 85. It only holds 5 rounds. I couldn't even shoot the 5 rounds out of it. I think I shot 2. It absolutely killed me to shoot it. You know, and mainly my wrists. It hurt like hell. You know, so I gave up on that. So this one is you got to. So I mean, really, it all depends on what your disability is. I mean, if you can't walk, you're in a wheelchair, but you still got strong arms, which I imagine you could if you're pulling a wheelchair around with your hands, you know, and you haven't got arthritis, you can still shoot a 45, 44 Magnum or whatever. But with me, because of the bad hands, I have to go with the smaller caliber. And the reason I went with this one, as everybody knows, is the slide. It's real easy for me. So where we're going with is my gun cabinet here. My M&P 45 has been relegated. I cleaned it all up, made it look pretty, and stuck it in there. Now I don't know if other people do this or not, but every gun in there is loaded. I don't have. There's not one in the chamber, but they're loaded. They have magazines in them, or as in that snub nose, it has got 5 38 specials in the thing. Oh, hey, Tony's in the chat. I sent you a link. I don't have your email. I couldn't remember it, but I sent you a link on gun channels to come to this chat. So if you're out there, Tony, you want to join in, by all means, please do. And if everybody else wants to come in, just send me an email or write it here in the chat, and I'll try to keep an eye out for it, and I'll see what I can do for you. I'm not sure how many people gun tube chambers lets in, but I know it's more than 6. So, you know how many things?
I think it's 15 is what I heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Night Strike set the limit at 15. We've had at least 10 on it so far.
Yeah, but I said I never reached 10. The most I've ever reached in one of my shows is 9 anyway at one time. So I just want to make sure if Tony does decide to come in, that it's there.
Now with that,
as Tony says, there are so many disabilities. There is no best gun. It's what's best for you in your circumstances, and only you can figure that out.
yeah, because it depends on your disability and where you live. I've had this conversation recently as far as caliber, because there's 2 different sides of the coin on that. If you go with a smaller caliber for noise issues, being blind, I don't want to go deaf. And then the other side of that is I only want to have to take 1 shot, so I want something big to take something down. And then obviously that depends also if you're in a city or an apartment. That's negates something different than if you're in the country or out in the wilderness somewhere. But I found the perfect firearm for me, which is the Colt New Agent, because it's sightless. There's nothing on top, and it just fits me fine. Then it's 8 rounds of 45 ACP instead of 8 rounds of 380 that I was carrying, or 7.
That's a semi-auto or a revolver?
It's a 1911. That's a semi-auto.
Now, problem is with that, it's like with you, as you said, being in your situation. that person practically has to be on top of you before you're willing to, pull
Yeah.
a script. Now, is there any chance of that being knocked out of battery?
It's just, yeah, of course there is. There's a chance. Yeah, and I've thought about it. It's something that I kind of, that is in my mind. And plus, it being a 1911, there isn't, the manual safety and stuff on it. So there are things that I've worked on. I do have, the 38 special and stuff like that as well. That 442 Smith. That's another nice one. That's hammerless or whatever. But then that doesn't have that issue. But yeah, that's something that you have to. It's just like anything. You gotta think things through and figure out what's going to work best.
Yeah, as Kingpin says in the chat, sights are a fad.
Yep, they are. Optics, scopes. That's all crutches for sighted people.
Yeah. Now, unknown user in the chat says, with my spinal issues, makes it really hard to shoot rifle calibers, so I stick to handguns. And he's saving to build a 9mm AR. Well, there you go. That's what I was thinking too. I mean, last time I shot my shotgun, it's a 12 gauge. I mean, I could do it, but man, did it! Because I've got arthritis. The neck, the shoulders, down the arms, the wrists, the fingers. I've even got it in my. Even though I got a bad back from spinal stenosis, I have arthritis in my back too, and I have it and that's why my hips are shot, and I had to have the left one replaced because the arthritis had totally screwed it all up. And talking about that, I went to my family doctor yesterday, and he said, "Did you go get your X-ray done? Because I haven't seen anything." So I had to sort of like scuff the dirt with my shoe and look down at the floor and say, "No, I hadn't gone." And I mislaid the piece of paper and I didn't call you to get it replaced. Anyway, I was telling where I'm going with this is my left knee is starting to ache like hell. Like when I'm sitting in the chair and or especially when I go to bed at night. My left knee is hurting like a son of a bitch. And I'm wondering, have I damaged the new hip somehow? And what's scary is it's only just started since that day. What was it, about 3, almost 4 weeks ago when I went squirrel hunting, walking up and down the guy Mount Everest there in these hills in Indiana.
Now, is that because you're walking in a different position? Because maybe you were used to walking a certain way, so you kind of got used to it and walking in a different position because you've got your hip fixed. Is that causing some issues? Maybe you're.
I don't know. But anyway, so what the doctor's done was he's actually referred me to an orthopedic surgeon now. He said he's the best one in his area. So I said, okay, I'll check him out. So I got to go next week for X-rays on my right hip, my left hip, and my left knee. And he said I will be notified when you have those done. By the way, so get them done. So, and I got to have them done before I go see the specialist anyway.
I got a quick question for unknown user. Now you said that the rifle calibers. Now, does a regular AR with 223, does that give you issues? I'm just wondering because it's
I'll keep an eye on the chat, see if he puts it in there.
Yeah,
now here's something. I mean, what's called it? Range says knee problems can come with issues with your posture. Correct. You're right. Now, maybe when I was walking up and down those hills, fox hunting. Damn, I'm not in English. Squirrel hunting, and maybe my posture was different, and I don't think, or I'm using that as an excuse, saying that's what it was. But I do know one thing: my hips right now, and I'm sitting here with a new brace on. I finally arrived. I've had it for about 5 days now. And sitting here is before when I sat here, I was in pain. Now I'm sitting here and I'm not in pain. That when I say pain, there is pain there, but it's livable pain. Before it would get so bad that I would, But right now, plus I can walk more. I'm walking more upright because, as we discussed, bending over, even though it feels better, ain't helping me any. But I'm more upright, and I'm forcing myself to go completely upright and walking that way. And I notice it's making me ache more because I haven't done it in so long. Okay. Yes, 223 is hard on me, but not as bad as 308, 7.62,
Yeah.
554, or 12 gauge.
Okay, because I was just wondering if it was the recoil or if it was extending, holding it out, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like 12,
Okay.
let me shoot my 12 gauge. I mean, my shoulders. I mean, it hurt like hell. I could do it, but I couldn't get into skeet shooting or play pigeons or whatever. Not sort of like going in a contest. My shoulder wouldn't be able to take it. Plus, my right arm is so bad. I mean, it depends. I mean, like right now, today, that's as high as I can get it. I can't even, that's, some mornings some days it don't even go that high. Today's a good day. So I'm just falling apart.
Even the Mona Lisa's falling apart.
Clover Tech says, sounds like you're sensitive to a sharp recoil impulse. Might stay away from 270. So I'm assuming he's talking to unknown user. I thought you were on the road to San Antonio, Clover, to meet up with Never Enough Ammo. So he could be talking to us from the road too. So shoot 20 gauge, less recoil. True. How much less though? I've never shot a 20 gauge. Yeah. Okay. Here, unknown user at Clover Tech. Yes, any sharp recoil goes directly to my low spine. Sometimes it will even trigger my leg to give way slightly. Yeah, I know what you're talking about there, unusual. It does it to me too at times. So. Yeah, Midnight Rain says he has the same problem as me with his shoulders. Yeah, I know. It's getting old. I mean, I know what mine's from. I mean, one, old age. I'm getting up there. I know I don't look it. I know I look young and handsome, but I'm 62. And, oh my God, I'm old. I'm 62. I spent, 38 years, almost 40. I think it might have been 40. I got to add up, but close to 40 years as a meat cutter. And I've done most of my cutting inside a refrigerator, because the big cutting rooms are all refrigerated and stuff. So having that cold air blasting on me my whole life didn't help any. And some people said that's not true. That doesn't help. Well, I'm the one in pain, so don't tell me it doesn't affect, So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So there we go. All right. Any other topics, anybody they want to bring up? I'm just throwing out there. I can carry on with other stuff, but are you speaking there? I lost my thing. What happened? Oh, there we go. You doing okay there, Squib, on the roof?
I'm done on the roof.
Oh, okay. All right. Just want to make sure that you didn't fall off or something, and you're laying there on your back looking up at the sky. Yeah. No. And you're a very quiet blind shooter there in New York. What's happening with you?
I'm just hanging out, letting Patriot do all the talking. He's the resident blind guy tonight.
No way.
Oh, yeah. I sure do miss Tony in here. because he talked more than Patriot. So, yeah.
I don't have anything to rant about today.
No,
I
but
got it all out of my system Saturday.
yeah. So anyway, talking about disabilities and all this and medications and all this. I'm in a good mood today. And years ago, I'm going back, has to be close to, hell, 10, 12 years ago. I was, it might not even be that long, I'm trying to think. Uh, anyway, my father had passed away. And, you know, and I was, I got depressed. So I thought. And all this, it's all related. And what made me think about, I mean, as everybody knows, in the 12-step program, you know, and stuff. And I'm trying to, I've got sober and I'm doing everything that they asked me to do. And I still don't, I've never felt right. Ever. And I thought, so I finally went to a doctor and blabbered all this out, and he put me on medication. And it wasn't a big dose, and it was only they put me on Wellbutrin. I don't mind saying this on the air. If I get red flagged for it, I get red flagged for it. I don't give a shit right now. Come and take my guns, But when I moved here to Indiana, when I met this doctor, I told him, "Look, I've been on this stuff for years. Why, I don't know. I'm doing great." So he weeded me off of it, and I'm going along thinking I'm great. But I noticed in the last month and a half that I'm starting to think about my life and some of the bad choices I've made, and I'm thinking about my parents. I'm thinking about my ex-wife, my kids, and everything else. And I've been generally miserable, basically. And because let me backtrack. The reason I done this was when they done that test when I went years ago. They actually done blood work on me. They even sent me for a brain scan or whatever. I went through one of them, is it MRI machines or is it whatever, when they done my head to make sure everything was all right. And they did say I had a chemical imbalance in my head. So, that's why they put me on this medication. But I came off it because I didn't think I needed it. But I think I told him what I was feeling. My doctor, I told him how I was feeling, and he said, "Why don't you go back on it?" He said, "Try it for 2 weeks." He goes, "Then call me." Well, I've been on it now for 3 days. I'm feeling better already. Is that just my brain telling me that, or is it the actual medication? What do you think?
Could be a combination of both.
So I'm feeling a hell of a lot better than I've been. I'm feeling like that life is good, even though, I mean, like the 1st of October, because I think I told you guys my rent here is dirt cheap. I mean, and the landlord sold the place, and the new landlord came in. Yeah, no problem. Here's the new lease, and he said we're doing a month by month thing. He said I don't hold you to a 12-month lease and all this stuff. And he said, it had the rent in there, and great. He's all smiles and teeth. He leaves. 7 days later, a letter in the mail. Your rent's going up $250 a month. So, come October 1st, I got to pay an extra $250 for what I'm doing. I can afford it. It's still less than what I was paying in Rhode Island, so I can afford it. But I'm looking for somewhere else to move. I mean, it's just the way he done it pisses me off out of principle. But I'm in no rush to move because it's trying to find somewhere to rent that will let me take my cats. That's the problem. Once they died, I don't have a problem. And I'm not getting rid of them. So that's that. Anyway, hang on. There's some stuff in the chat here.
You could always move to New York.
Okay, yeah. Clovertech said he worked in produce for quite a few years, and most of that time spent in a cooler. Yeah, it will certainly mess with your joints and muscles and stuff. Okay, I'm not the only one. Yeah, all that stuff. Your body takes time to adjust, and it continues to get worse. Get it checked out. That's what I'm doing. Unknown user said, if you feel better, you feel better. Keep taking it. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. That's what I'm thinking too. Anyway, since we're anybody got any handicapped, disabled stuff they want to talk about? Because we got a political question in the chat. You want to go political?
Why not? We can aggravate Squib.
What it was is where is it now? I've lost it. Where in the hell did it go? Oh yeah, this is from no. You can blame unknown user if the chat gets out of control. He says, "Did you see where the Democrats have blocked the idea of adding known gang members to the red flag list?" Yes, I heard about it, and I read something about it that the Democrats, because it was put in as what's the word for it, an amendment to the bill or whatever, and it got shot down. They didn't want to do that. I mean, that should tell people right there that they don't care about gun violence. All they want to do is take your guns. Did you guys see that story or hear about it?
Yeah.
Kingpin?
Yeah, I saw it, and they can't focus on the criminals because the vast majority of the criminals have black or brown skin and come from low-income neighborhoods. And according to them, there's nothing wrong with those neighborhoods, and you're racist if you say anything about them. So they have to focus on the tool instead of the actual social issue of the problem. So if you put gangbangers on this list, then you're automatically going to be targeting black and brown communities of lower economic status.
Yeah, I heard that they also added they were saying something like it was like the no-flies list. Anybody could be thrown on there as a gang member or something, and that you don't have to have proof for some kind of nonsense. I think that's how they were kind of trying to word it, at least in the thing I read. Instead of just, saying, well, you could say anybody is a gang member, so that can't be on there, which is ridiculous. But
most cities have a gang member registration. When they lock you up and they evaluate your tattoos and the clothes you're wearing, where they picked you up, and a lot of times your actual confession, they put you in a class of gang members. So you're now a known gang member. So it would take about 1 millisecond for them to open up any of those files and just transfer all those names over onto a red flag list. Not saying that they would start pursuing red flag stuff against them, but just have them on the list as potential people.
Yeah. But talking about, I was slightly different. Talking about that email you sent me, Patriot.
Uh-oh. Yes. The last one? Oh, about the alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really, it's got a lot of good points, and about halfway down they have a bunch of the CDC numbers and things about, that, because basically it was a reporter was talking about firearms and, that military should only have them, as she's talking over cocktails.
Yeah.
And the guy was kind of saying, well, she's.
Oh yeah, here you go. I mean, more than 88,000 deaths due to alcohol and related causes last year. I don't know when this article, what year was this article written lately? Or was it?
Yeah, that just came out today. That email. I don't know where what the date was on the CDC stuff.
Including 9,967 traffic fatalities, many women and children among the victims. There is also a significant increase in alcohol-related deaths among women, as the Journal of American Medical Association reports. Now, did you know this? This is what the Medical Association reports. 1 in 8 Americans is an alcoholic, according to the clinical definition. Alcohol, in fact, is the third leading preventable cause of death in the U.S. The 70,000 deaths due to drug overdoses. So
one of the things that
annual FBI crime statistics: 10,982 Americans were killed by assailants using firearms, and that was less than 2% of those were used by using rifles.
Plus, you also have to manage in the numbers of suicides, because that's what always, we mentioned, 40,000 gun-related deaths a year, or whatever the number is, and a giant chunk of that is gun-related suicide. They say, well, still, if they didn't have that gun, they wouldn't have killed themselves, which we all know is a farce. They have to come up with something other. But what about drug and alcohol-related suicides? A lot of people get hooked on these drugs and can't get off and kill themselves. A lot of people get hooked on this alcohol and can't get off and kill themselves, or get into a deep depression.
Yeah, you're right. But back to the suicide by gun. I'm not sure if I read this somewhere or I heard it on a YouTube chat or something.
Oh.
Or a YouTube video. Is the gun, right? It's when somebody pulls the trigger into their head, it's over, done, boom. But like some other kind of thing, you might be able to save them.
When I was a kid, we used to get wood from a guy that tried to off himself, and he lived through it. So yeah, that's just nonsense.
They're saying somebody hung themselves. You can get in there in time, cut them down, and they might still breathe. Or or they taking medication. You get there in time and get their stomach pumped out, but when a bullet enters the head, that's it. It's over. I'm just saying. I heard this somewhere, and I'm thinking, yeah. So I've got to pay the price for somebody else's doings, which I don't think's right.
Well, that's how it's always going to be for us gun owners. I mean, I don't know if anyone saw the article, but it was posted, I think, yesterday. But there was this girl down in Oklahoma, I think she's about maybe 14, 15 years old, said she wanted to take her dad's AK-47 and go kill 400 kids at her old school just for shits and giggles. So who's going to end up...
I read that article.
See, it's like, who's going to end up paying the price for that one now? We are.
Oh, yeah. Even though it was reported that's what she did because she wrote it somewhere, right? That, unfortunately, I'm glad that she got somebody stopped her and she's going to get help or whatever she needs. But that is just what the other side needs, and that's why we need red flag laws. For stuff like that doesn't happen. Luckily, this one didn't go that far, but this is the kind of thing we're talking about. So, they're going to use it against us.
Right. It's like you said at the beginning of the show. I mean, we're entering a new school year, and it's just before an election season, so we all know there's going to be at least one school shooting, and it's going to fit the mass media's agenda of more than 3 kids getting shot, and the person doing the shooting ended up using a rifle.
Yeah, see, that's it. They've changed the definition too, right? Because I believe it had to be the definition of mass shooting was 4 dead, not counting the shooter.
There is no official FBI definition for mass shooting.
Hmm.
All the definitions come from lobbyist groups, special interest groups, media, different stuff like that. The FBI does not have an official definition for mass shooting.
Okay.
But the FBI openly says that they usually go by the 3 or 4 rule.
Yeah, okay. That's that's what I was thinking about. But now, the way the media, who is taking over everything, it doesn't matter. It's just 3 or more shot. Doesn't matter if they die. It's a mass shooting. So.
Yeah, I'd like to throw some things in there.
Okay.
I know usually this is kind of around the robin or whatever you call it, where we kind of go back to what do we do about it and stuff. And been going through some things, and the idea that we want to go for the people in the middle or whatever, to get them to think about firearms like we do. That's really not going to happen. That kind of a different idea. I don't know, you could agree or not or disagree, whatever. If you place it that it's not the fact that we want to keep our firearms, we want to do this, we want to do that. It's the government doesn't have a right to tell me what to do, right? If we kind of focus on more of, do you think it's all right for you guys that are scared right now, Donald Trump to tell you what you can do, more along the lines of it. I know that's kind of a negative way of doing it, but do you think that has a better possibility of working than saying, no, we have rights to have firearms, and I'm crossing my arms and all this stuff, and people don't necessarily listen to that because they don't really care about that.
No,
I
think you're on to something. That's what we need to do.
We
need to get the gun. We need to get the actual gun out of the argument.
With the Second Amendment, I mean, we always focus on the gun, but it has, that's just a little portion of it. The whole idea of being able to fight tyranny. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can fight tyranny and stuff. But if you go about it where you're thinking that, focus on the government, which is the thing that, is supposedly against us. A lot of people love it and think it makes the best decisions, but go to the DMV or the post office and tell me that later, if you wait there 4 hours. But, so if you kind of word it different, I don't know, you might think about it a little bit. I don't know. I've been going through a couple different things because I've been talking to some people that aren't in this little circle that we always talk with, and looking at things that say, hey, do you think that guy in town hall or at the state capitol has any information about, what you go through on a daily basis, what the things you put up with, the things you take care of, your priorities, everything in your daily life? Do you think they have the authority to tell you, no, you can't have grape soda or whatever it is? Anything, you can fill in the blank, depending on who you're talking to. And if you can word it to the point where they're saying, well, no, they shouldn't have the right to limit, my free choice. I'm not living in a country where I can't make choices. So I don't know. It's just something to throw out there. Maybe kind of kick it around, and I don't know.
I agree with you. I mean that works because basically you when they say no, that's we have a free choice.
Yeah.
The government doesn't. I mean, you could say to them, well, should the government?
You can tell them that too.
I mean, the government doesn't limit what car you can own.
So I've had this conversation more than once.
Uh-oh.
This is the way it goes. 2 things. One, no matter what you try to tell them, they think the Constitution, in particular the Bill of Rights, is rights that the government grants you, not that rights that you already have that the government can't take away. I don't know why, but even educated people can't accept that. And it confounds me, and it's just like, you went to freaking college. What do you do? Oh my. So that's the one thing. They cannot get past the whole thing. The government is granting you this, and they call it privilege too, granting you this privilege. It's not a right you already have that they can't take. Yes, it is. Read it. Look at it again. Okay? The next thing is, when you try to compare it to anything else, they go, oh, well, that's not going to happen. That's just silly. That's impractical. No, they wouldn't do that. They would, but your guns, they're for killing people, and then that's bad. And I want to be safe. I don't want to be scared. And so if you try to compare it to anything, if you start saying, would you like the government to tell you what books you can read, or what food you can eat, or what TV shows you can watch, or what kind of car, or how many cars you can have, how many children you can have, where you can live, how big your house can be, what doesn't matter. They always throw the whole, that you're just being silly. That would never happen. That would never happen. That just quit being
that's
silly.
why you have to pick the things that actually have happened. I mean, look at New York City with the things. I mean, you can't have paper straws in California or plastic straws in California. And there's a lot of things that you can actually pick on. But if you go about it saying, okay, we're talking about firearms, and now I'm going to talk to you about things, you can't really start that way. I'm sure that you can have a conversation with people and kind of work it in there. But then if they do that because they're educated and they've been educated, ask them, well, what about those immigrants or those people living in X country, whatever country you want? Do you think they have the right, where they're in the Congo, and you don't think that those people have a right to clean water? Right? I mean, there's all sorts of things that you can say. So I don't know.
These people go round and round and round, and they can't cite sources. They skim headlines. They find out outdated information. They talk a whole lot about feelings, and what has been said recently in some shows, they try to make you look like an idiot, especially in front of other people, and that's how they win the argument. They don't win the argument with facts or better ideas. They win it by just being a better entertainer.
Now, are the people that are in the middle that are just everyday Joes, or are you going after the liberals jumping up and down at the college? Because I'm sure
not the liberals jumping. Okay, nobody in the middle. I'm waiting to meet this person in the middle, because I have liberals come at me. I don't go at them. They bring it to me. And no, I'm not going down to college campuses, because I don't even like college. But I know a lot of people who have their college degrees, and they love flaunting it around about how much better they are than me because they went to college, whatever. And most of the people that I deal with that are liberals are either college or union, and they come at me. I'm the gun guy. I'm one of those gun nuts. I don't go, looking for somebody necessarily. I mean, I did at the Columbus rally try to go talk to the woman who was yelling in the megaphone, cussing us out and stuff like that. And the state police wouldn't even let me go talk to her. I wasn't going to start a fight with her, but I actually she said something that we had some common ground on. So let's work on this common ground, and then let's see where you go with it, and let's see where I go with it, and see if either one of us, get anywhere with it. Never had a chance to do it. Law enforcement would not let me. I've talked to people for a long time. All I'm saying is, I don't think you shouldn't talk to people. I think you need to pick and choose and use your best judgment. But be prepared for it to go south fast. And when you find one of these people that's on the fence, send them my way, because it's like a unicorn. I still haven't seen one. So.
Well, you meet a lot of people that have no feelings towards firearms. I mean, I've met plenty of them, and yes, I do understand the union thing. I've ran into that a lot, but go ahead, David.
Oh no, go ahead, man.
I was just talking because Squib was, so go ahead.
Real quick before the show ends. No, go on, David.
No, go ahead. It's cool. I'm just talking because Patriots now.
No, I was just going to give people a chance to win the quiz this Saturday for some patch for some stickers, and I got my very last patch, which is the Every Second Matters patch. So if anybody out there has got any swag they want to get rid of or anything, send it my way. If I can use for prizes, I will use your name. I will plug you. This prize sponsored by so and so. I don't have a problem doing that at all. Just email me and I will send you my mailing address if you want to do that. But if you don't, no problem either. We're just we'll have to come up with some other stuff, try anyway. So anyway, the question was, it's a real simple one. In the TV series Justified, now I'll be honest, I've never watched an episode of this, but so I researched this on Google, so this is where my answer came from. In the TV series Justified, I'm making it easy for you. Season 3, episode 12, called Coalition. The main character, I think it's pronounced Arlo Givens. It's the actor is Raymond Barry. Pulls a weapon on Ava. I want to know what that weapon was. That's all I'm asking. So, there you go. So in season 3, episode 12, Arlo Givens, I think that's how you pronounce the character's name, pulled a weapon on Ava. I want to know what it was. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. So there we go. That was the quiz. Get that into me by lunchtime, 12 noon Eastern time. The only time that matters. So just that was another thing. My doctor's appointment that I just went to. It was at luckily it was at 8:00 in the morning. 7:00 their time. I had to go back and what I'm saying. It was still. What I'm saying is because the place, my doctor's is about 9 miles from me. Not even that, but I cross over that time zone into Central Time. And it really messes me up. As they say in this part of Indiana, I went into slow time. We're in fast time, that's slow time. So. I was right. I'm just reading the chat. Oh yeah, Clovertech shows the next generation. I believe Matt's not having one because he's on the road. He's on his way to San Antonio to meet Clovertech because they're going to that gun rights policy conference in Arizona. So I don't think there's going to be one at 9:00. So and I believe Rants and Raves is on tonight too. Is Bloke's 2 cents on tonight? Anybody know?
No, he won't be on tonight, and I will have an update on the giveaway at the end of the show here.
Oh, okay. All right. That works for me. I was asked, did you wait 3 hours and saw the doc 10 minutes? No, actually, I was the first patient of the day. And that's why I took the early appointment. So I got in straight. But, they go in and they weigh you, take your blood pressure, then they take you they take you in this little room for that, then you have to get up and go to another room. I say, Jesus Christ, as I get up and hobble along and go to this other room, then the nurse asks you what's the problem. I said, well, I don't want to talk to the nurse. I want to talk to the doctor, But anyway, of course, I still had to wait 5 minutes after that for the doctor to actually show up in the room. Oh, somebody said E Honda is running something for Matt at 9. He thinks. Oh, he ain't gonna do it. He ain't doing his gay frog chat, is he? Conspiracy Wednesday now instead of Conspiracy Thursday. All right, we're going way off. We're going way off topic again. I do apologize. I don't do it on purpose. You know, it's I have to. You know, I was trying to stretch out some of this, but sometimes, you know, when you just don't have it, you just don't have it. You know, so. But I'm feeling okay. Oh, you know, I ache, and I'm getting hungry. As everybody knows, I eat after the show on Wednesdays. I think I'm going with pizza tonight. You know, I got what brand did I get this time? DiGiorno. It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno's how you pronounce it. I got one of them. I treated myself. I said, screw the expense, and I bought one of those to throw in the oven. So I'll give that a try. So that's what I'm going for. I wish we had a close by, a Waffle House. So I used to like eating in Waffle Houses, that greasy spoon type atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So
I wonder what the Indiana version of Midnight Range is like.
do what?
I wonder what the Indiana version of a Midnight Range is like.
I don't know.
I mean, if you got a Waffle House, there's got to be a pancake. There's got to be a pancakes there.
Yeah, it has to be. Do they have frozen pizza in England? Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, they have frozen pizza in England. Yeah. I mean, it was something that was took a while to catch on, you know, because it came. I mean, stuff they never used to back in my. I remember talking to, you know, my mother passed away in the early '80s, and I remember talking to her about it back then, and she even said back then that there wasn't pizza when she was a kid. Because she grew now she was a young child during the war, you know, and they said no, they didn't have pizza. She said no. She said they didn't have frozen pizza like they didn't have it back in those days. But when it come over here, when it started coming over in England, you know, around '70s, '80s, because of the American influence. You're watching American TV shows and all this stuff, and that's how a lot of stuff got into England. Is because they're watching this. It's the U.S. influence. You know, unknown user tonight is cube steak for you, huh? Now, actually, cube steak people turn their nose up at it, but you know, cube steak. I mean, when it goes through that machine, it breaks up all the fiber, so it's going to be, for lack of a better word, it's going to be chewable anyway. You know, the hell with a Waffle House. I'll take a small greasy spoon diner, real meat burgers any day. Gun website says, oh, of course they have frozen pizza. They just put jellyfish and bird eggs on them. You know? Yeah, they eat jelly eels. Oh, God. They have some weird stuff. I mean, there's stuff I didn't even eat. You know? My, my wife used to eat this, they call them cockles. It was a feed thing. It was like, I guess, to me, they looked like snails without their shells, is what it looked like to me. They were round and they covered them in vinegar and salt and pepper and shit. Oh, God. It was disgusting. But my ex-wife loved the damn things. You know, 2 Live Moo. Hey, Rick, watched the cooking show today, and they made spotted dick with custard. Looks delicious. It is. Spotted dick. Everybody knows my other thing is my, if I turn my camera off, my thing of this is spotted Rick on there. That's where that comes from. That's a can of spotted dick dessert. But I mean, you can make them yourself. It's all it is it's a bread pudding with raisins. That's all. That's what spotted dick is. But he had it with custard. Custard is great. You know, pour that over spotted. Oh man, you can't make your tongue bat your brains out. So if anybody was interested in that, you know. So there we go. They have some weird stuff. I've mentioned this before. I can make Yorkshire pudding. I've learned how to do it, but I'm not very good at it. I love Yorkshire pudding, but I've said it on here before. It's called Toad in the Hole, and it actually is British sausage bangers baked inside a big Yorkshire pud. That's great. Oh, another one is I like Welsh rabbit. Now, you might ask what Welsh rabbit is. Going into food chat now. Welsh rabbit is cheese on toast, is what it is. Put some cheddar cheese on some toast, put it on the broiler, let it melt all over it. That's Welsh rabbit. Bit of salt and pepper on there, you know. So, so anyway, let's wind. It's just gone 8, so let's wind this up with the shout outs and plugs by our esteemed panel. We'll start with Squib. Squib, you there?
Grease and ladder, Rick. Grease and ladder.
All right, no shout outs or plugs. That's it, huh? All right. Next, Patriot in the Dark.
Is it on now?
You're on.
Hello? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because it just says mute audio, and I click it, and it says mute audio, and I click it. So I got to figure out which way.
So give
anyway,
your shout outs.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Check out the latest of the blind woodworking videos. That's all I've done. And make sure you check out Next Generation. That is really good. It kind of gives you a little inspiration instead of all this doom and gloom, looking at the Utes out there with rifles, shotguns, pistols, bow and arrows, you name it. And it's motivating. So check that out.
Okay. Kingpin, you're up.
Okay, thanks for having me, Rick. Everybody, go check out A Bloke's 2 Cents. He's going to be putting out the updated video, I think tomorrow, maybe tonight. I'm not exactly too sure, but in the next day or so. He still has the CGS Mod 9 suppressor, which is 9mm all the way up to 300 blackout. It's a $20 entry fee to the GoFundMe that's going to be in the video. And the $200 tax stamp is going to be paid. Then there's a small twist, I guess. Well, we'll call it an extra small issue. One of somebody out there heard about the reason that the GoFundMe's going on and wanted to add to the giveaway. The same with the person with the $200 tax stamp. They thought it was cool and they just wanted to help out. So they also donated a bulletproof vest, a Scar Armory bulletproof vest. That's SKARR Armory, and it comes with a carrying case for the vest. The issue here is, I guess nobody thought to mention or ask the size of the vest. The vest is going to be an extra small. Now, for anybody who's seen Bloke's video, Bloke's not an extra small guy, and he said that he tried it on and it's super tight, but he's not an extra small guy. He's kind of a average size, maybe a little bit above average size guy. So if he's still able to get it on, you might still be able to, some of the average size, smaller than average size people that have entered could still probably wear it and like it. Bloke wanted me to mention, and I'm sure he'll mention it in the update video that he puts out. If that's a deal breaker, it's just something. It was just something that was overlooked. The size of the vest was overlooked. The person donated it was just trying to be nice and help out. Bloke was just, hey, that's super cool. Thank you so much for helping out. And the size discussion never came up, but it is an extra small. And if that's a problem and you would like a refund, if you entered the contest or the giveaway or the charity drive or whatever you want to call it, because of the vest, Bloke said just email him and he'll refund you your money. He wants to be completely upfront, completely on the level, and honest and fair with everybody. So if the vest being an extra small is a deal breaker, then just contact him and he will refund your money and offer you an apology. But it's still a really good deal. Even with the vest, you could sell the vest or give it to a smaller person that you may know. You could do a giveaway on your channel, however you feel like doing it, but you still get the $200 tax stamp paid and the suppressor.
Yeah, and it's still a good cause. That's what it's all about, is the cause. So, all right. Anything else, Kingpin?
No.
All right. Real quick before I go, there was something I was going to mention. All this doom and gloom. Here's a cheery thought, though. Think about this. Everybody says, right, they're not going to, they wouldn't be able to get the votes or whatever they need to appeal the Second Amendment. Right? So, that means that the guns ain't going away. On a federal level, that is. They can still go away on a state level, but a lot of states have a Second Amendment in their own constitution. Don't forget. So when these states are pulling this stuff and you go to one of their things, say, well, aren't you following the state constitution? Read it to them, what it says. I mean, like in Rhode Island, where I was at before, the state Second Amendment was identical, word for word, of the federal one. So, just a thought to put you out there to keep you, things are looking good. And I do apologize to everybody for going off topic on the stuff. But so if you got any questions you want to add, most of these guys are on the panel every week with me. So if you got any questions for a specific person or in general, email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com, and I will add them. I will make a list, and we can use those for topics. So there you go. I just wanted to mention that. So if any of you have, please do that. I want to say thank you all for being here. It's been a pleasure as always, and I'll be back next week at 7 p.m. Same time, same channel, and all that good stuff. Plus, don't forget, I'm here Saturday, where we have a general sort of like review of what's been happening during the week and all that. Anything goes on that chat. When I say anything, we talk politics, guns, and that kind of stuff, world events. So I want to say thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all on Saturday. Have a good one.
Never fear the dark.